So I think it goes without saying that as a musician, getting gifts from people who are not musicians can be kind of annoying. So the intent here is to put this up on YouTube, and if somebody asks you, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Just send them the link.
There you go. Look at this.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
That's what we want to do. So without further ado, here is what we believe is the best gift ideas for working, gigging musicians looking for gifts under $100.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and start.
Please.
And this one is like right under the tier. Microphones.
Microphones. Certain particular microphones are going to hit that $100 price point, and they are the kind of gold standard of band microphones. You have one in mind, I think.
Yep, the SM58.
Yep, from Shure, SHURE, yep. SM58. Yep, and it's the thing about an SM58 is for a non-musician, it's the microphone you think of when you think the word microphone, because it's used everywhere. It is built like a tank. It sounds great. There are ones that sound a whole lot better. You can spend a whole lot more money, but for in the like $90 range, SM58 is what to get, and nobody can ever have enough of them. That's
right. And I'll throw another one out there if they're a guitar player and maybe don't sing and you want to get them on mic, the Shure SM57.
Yes,
is a great option.
Yeah, built more for picking up amps and instruments,
but also a solid vocal.
Fine vocal. Yeah.
Number 2, another big one I think that's super important: hearing protection.
Yeah.
For those of us who don't use in-ear monitors or don't use in-ear monitors for everything, or maybe just people who go to concerts and things, hearing protection is super important. And the thing that musicians really value is having something that like still lets all of the frequencies in, but just lowers the overall volume. You can go and get the little foam guys at the pharmacy, but they're not fun to wear. They're not great to
They don't
listen
sound good.
to
They don't sound
through.
good. They just muffle everything. They're like wearing pillows, because that's essentially what you're doing. But there are some that are built to attenuate the volume without squashing the high end or anything like that. There are several brands that are really good. You've talked about like Heroes, I think.
Yep. Yeah. I've got a set of those.
That's HEAROS, Heroes.
Yes.
Yep.
HEAR. Got that.
That's clever.
Came in like a little bullet case. They're super nice. There's a bunch of different options in that kind of realm. They sell them at music stores. You can get them on Amazon, but they're billed as musicians' earplugs.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to find them.
Yep.
And you're looking around somewhere between the $20 to $50 range.
Yeah.
But a great, super thoughtful gift. If you give that to a musician in your life, they will think, wow, you actually care.
That's right. There is a risk that if they have a certain attitude about not wearing hearing protection, that this might seem a little bit like a naggy sort of gift. So just know your audience a little bit, I think, about that. But generally, yeah, that's a great thing.
You want to grab a couple?
Yeah. So any guitarist or a lot of other musician is going to put their signal through a thing called a DI box. That's a direct instrument box that takes, it basically just converts the level of the signal into what a mixing board wants. And they're in the $100-ish range. I don't even mention any brands because they're all basically the same thing. There are a lot that have special cute features. None of that's what's important. A garden variety DI box just is going to do the job that anyone needs. And it's not just guitarists. Taylor, who I play acoustic with, she's a fiddler. And her fiddle signal goes through a DI box before the mixer, because otherwise it's way too low and we can't amp it up high enough, and so it steps it up to the right level for the board. So that is a thing that, again, a band will often have. If there are acoustic instruments involved, they'll often have a little plastic box full of DI boxes. They'll have 8 or 10 in there, and it's always just nice to have a spare of anything like that. So that's a good option.
Yeah, I mean, with my my Line 6 HX Stomp, I use a DI.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's balanced out, but it's more of a safeguard against like in-house, like they accidentally send phantom power to something.
Sure. Yeah. Kind of
it's
a good thing to have. The other thing,
but they start around $50, but you can kind of go between, sky's the limit really, what you can, can pay, but that's kind of the realm they're in.
That's probably true for any of these things. You could spend, there are things on the market that are plated in, platinum and whatever, but that's not what we're talking about.
Hey, not this next one. I think you can get out on this one pretty
I think so. The next one on our list is a drum key. So if you know a drummer, that drummer has drum keys, and they're in the pockets and in the bottom of the dryer and underneath the couch cushions. And yet, when you need one, there's not one
They're never
nearby.
there.
So you just
Drum keys are the guitar picks of the drum.
exactly just you just drown any drummer you know in drum keys, and they'll be a happy player.
And those can be dirt cheap as well.
Totally,
Like,
yeah,
like
couple bucks,
$5 to $10.
yeah.
So before we started this episode, we kind of had a bit of a tiff back and forth about this next one. Not that we didn't think that it was a good idea, but this one requires a little bit more legwork.
Right.
So the next thing,
should I state the con case and let you state the pro? So here's the reason you might not want to buy strings for a guitar player in your life. A guitar player's relationship with strings is very personal and very distinct to the brand and size and style of strings, and they have probably, if they have been playing a while, come to a preference after a lot of trial and error. And if you walk into the guitar store and pick a pack of strings because it has a pretty wrapper, those are not going to get put on a guitar. So that's not wise. However, as Adam pointed out,
as far as this time of year, there are lots of great deals on string multi-packs.
Yeah.
So if you can do the legwork and you can find out the brand of string that they use, getting them a box of strings, like maybe like a set of 12, would be a very nice thing to get them.
The thing to be aware of is there's brand, there's model. So Ernie Ball is a really popular brand. I like them.
Yep.
They have like 12 models of strings. Super slinky, kind of slinky, not so slinky, hybrid slinky, bottom heavy. I mean, like a lot of things. And then there's a size involved, which is the technically speaking, it's the size of the smallest string. And so you need to know those three factors. If you know those three factors, you can buy strings for a guitarist, and they will love that. If you don't, don't guess.
So I will say this: if they are Ernie Ball users, that's personally what I use.
Me too.
The good thing about Ernie Balls is that all of the different gauges they have all have different names and different colors.
Right.
So if you are walking through the rehearsal room and see that there's a hot pink pack of
those are super
Ernie
slinky
Ball
nines,
strings,
is what those are. Yeah.
That is a very specific kind of Ernie Ball string, and that's probably what you should get.
And if you went into, let's say, Guitar Center and said, I need to pick up a 5-pack of those pink Ernie Balls, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. They can totally help you with that.
Bingo.
Yeah, but a non-guitar player, for instance, I have a pack of strings sitting here on my desk. These are Ernie Ball earth-wound acoustics, phosphor bronze alloy extra light 10s. Don't guess at that. That's not. There's too many words involved. Don't take a picture of that on your phone. Maybe that'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not something I would expect a non-guitarist to remember. I have a hard time remembering it. All those words.
So do it, but do it right.
Know what you're doing.
Next thing on the list is one of those things that, like, some of these are going to feel like either not thoughtful or kind of afterthought type gifts, but for anybody who does the kind of work that we do regularly, I think will be very, very well received.
Yep.
And the next one on that list is a rolling cart.
Yeah.
Now, this one is actually kind of tricky because these can get super expensive.
Yes.
The most popular model of these are called rock and rollers.
Mm-hmm. Rock and roller cart. 3 words. Rock with an N. Roller cart.
Roller.
Yep.
They have yellow wheels. That's kind of like their like branding thing.
Yep.
And I think the smallest one starts right around $80-$90,
mm-hmm.
and like they go up from there.
I will tell you, the day that I got mine was it was a game changer, total game changer. I cannot recommend it strongly enough. People ask me, what's the most important piece of gear you have? And like, it's between my Fender and my rock and roller cart.
So yeah, that would be a big win for somebody.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same lane, batteries.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in my case, when I'm doing acoustic gigs, my Taylor runs off of 9-volt batteries. And I'm basically every gig that I remember, I buy a pack of 9-volt batteries. And then I end up with like, either I have too many or not enough. So find out the kind of batteries they use. The most popular ones are going to be either 9 volts or AA's.
Yeah.
So if you got like a Sam's Club or a Costco membership, just go and buy the biggest container of either or both of those. You give that to a musician on Christmas, they are going to be super stoked.
What would you think about getting somebody like a rechargeable battery setup, like a recharger and a pack,
I think that's
few packs
I
of
think that's killer.
rechargeables. Yeah.
Having a portable battery pack, that's one of the things in my gig bag. I take it with me everywhere.
I have here mine, which is called, the brand of it is Mr. Bat.
Yep.
Found it on Amazon, and it is the most reliable one I've ever used, and the batteries have lasted forever. And this that I'm holding up in front of me here is a 4-pack, 4-charger of AA's. So I use this to charge the batteries for the wireless receivers for the IEMs, for the in-ear monitors,
Yep.
at every show. And it lives here on my desk, and the batteries come out and pop in and go out. It's just I had to buy this myself, but if somebody bought that for me, I'd have been happy.
Perfect.
There you go. So here you are playing music. Your hands are full. You're busy. Where are you going to put your beverage? You gotta have a drink, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta have a drink. So there are a couple of different kinds of mic stand mounted drink holders that are great. They're just great to have. And they're not too expensive, to 10, 15, 20 bucks, something like that.
Yep.
Good little gift for somebody who gigs out and has a mic stand and uses their hands and can't hold a drink. So.
Well, and I would say that there's a lot of mic mounted accessories that are probably
Totally
useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I played with a guy who had a little table thing
Yeah.
that clamped on, and he kept capos and and I think it had a cup holder hole in it.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff like that.
Tablet holders.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be useful.
Yep. Phone holders if somebody's going to do that.
So any sort of like mic mounted assistive device.
It's a win.
Actually, I'm just kind of freestyling here. But one of our Instagram followers sent me a picture of this. He is playing at Disney World, and they require either singing in masks or some sort of like block in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
So they are putting, these are typically used for like horn players, but they're like these plexiglass rings that go around a mic's, like a mic mount.
Yep.
That might be something that in this current season might be useful to have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's great. It's great.
Moving along. So most of us use iPads or some sort of tablet style device in conjunction with some kind of app that we put song lyrics or chord charts or that kind of thing on. So my thought was, how about like an App Store gift card?
It's great. And even if they end up buying Candy Crush with it, that's fine too, right?
Also that
candy won't crush itself, man. It's important.
If they're Mac users and you get them one of those things, they could buy Logic Pro or at least get a sizable discount on it. That would be a big win.
Yeah.
Or if they play live, they also make an app called Mainstage, which is like $30. It has keyboard sounds and amp sounds and like all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So that would be a total slam dunk. Which app do you use for charts?
I use Band Helper.
Okay.
And
which is that's a free one that you then
the app itself is free, and then the subscription unlocks features to it. Yeah.
So I've got Ultimate Guitar, which is a subscription deal, but it is funneled through the iTunes store.
Okay.
So I think that would count towards that. I also use OnSong for certain gigs, and that's like $20-$30. So if you give somebody a $50 iTunes or Android store gift card, like that's a great choice.
It's awesome.
For sure.
Do know which kind of device they have before you do that.
Yes, that would be important. And then we talk about them all the time. You wouldn't think that somebody would want this as a gift, but I can tell you that you give it to them in December. By April, they will be kissing your feet. And that, my friends, is an air mover.
Yep.
So if you aren't familiar with what an air mover is, it's like a fan, but they sell them at like hardware stores and places like Home Depot and Lowe's. You can get them on Amazon. But they're like little boxes that have they have fans in them, but it's a more concentrated, force. They also end up having like cool features like surge protectors and little power outlets and things. The most popular ones, at least where I am, are made by a company called Lasco.
Yep.
So if you Google Lasco air movers, there should be a whole mess of them available. They tend to be somewhere between $50 and $100, depending on their size and whatever. I've got 2 of them, and if I bought 2 more, I would use 2 more.
I will tell you, I've sweated through a whole lot of gigs, and then I bought a couple of air movers. And so far, given the way the world is, I've only gotten to use them at one show, but it was a very comfortable show to play. It was delightful. So yeah, that's a strong recommend on that one. It feels weird to give as a gift, giving you a fan. No, it's a very good thing for somebody who performs.
You know, you could probably tie it into like, you know, here's a fan from your biggest fan.
That's right.
or,
Sure. No,
like,
they're the pun opportunities are strong for sure.
the last one was Gaff Tape. It's not quite as exciting as the other ones. But
Oh, I disagree. Listen, tape's an amazing gift, and you know, it's this is the gift for the person you hate to see trip over cables and fall on their butt. That's kind of what that's for.
well, and Gaff Tape is not like a cheap thing.
Oh, yeah. For
it's a premium product.
yeah. Still probably in our $100 range, but for
Oh
tape,
yeah, like a roll of it's about $30.
Yeah.
I think is
Yeah.
depending on the width.
Yeah.
A couple of other things that it just kind of popped in my head. Tuners.
tuners.
Tuners a good idea.
Yes. Clip-on
There's a
tuner is
lot
going to
of them
be
had.
10 to 15 bucks maybe.
I was literally looking at like my shelf over here of like all the things I have. But yeah, I mean, I think those are the you know, I thought about this for a while, and those are the things that kind of popped in my head. We also asked around on the Facebook group to see what they thought. So there you have it, our comprehensive gift guide for the working musician in your life. Was there anything that we forgot? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have an awesome week, and we will see you next time.